My favorite metal snake. It's dirty. Folcon's 5. Oh, yeah. Hey guys, it's Folcon here. I know you haven't seen my beautiful face in a while. I know it's been a while since I've done a Folcon's 5. Um, Sorry, I told you I was going to do them regularly, but that has not happened. Sorry about that. I meant to finish some things that I have finished. I finished, what did I finish? I finished Knights of the Old Republic, which was an amazing game, but that was a while ago. I don't know if you know about that. But recently, I finished Metal Gear Solid 4 and Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, or 5. I'm still not sure how that numbering system's going to work, because it seems like Phantom Pains is also going to be 5, so Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes then. I still need to play Revengeance, Metal Gear Rising, however you say that. Anyways, on that subject, I decided to do a Folcon's 5 on Metal Gear Solid, my top 5 Metal Gear Solid games. I have not played one, but now that I finished 4 and Ground Zeroes, I'm now up to playing 5 Metal Gear Solids. I said solids, so I'm not really including Metal Gear, but I haven't played any of those games anyways, or Rising, but I haven't played that yet either, so it really only applies. It didn't really come up, so Metal Gear Solid games only. I might, do another list later of just Metal Gear games. Metal Gear, Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Revengeance, Rising, whatever it's going to be called. So, let's, start off. So my number 5 Metal Gear Solid is ironically number 5, Ground Zeroes at least, which is, I thought it was an amazing game. I'm not saying that it was a bad game, because I love all these titles. Like, this is one of the hardest lists I've ever had to make, trying to decide. But 5, I think, would be at the bottom, not because it wasn't a good game. Gameplay was amazing. I liked a lot of the additional features, and it was amazingly cut and had an interesting storyline where if you've played Peace Walker, which I had, then you kind of know what's going on. It even gave you a backstory if you didn't know. There was, right under the main quest, there was a backstory. It was like 32 pages long with like two sentences on each page, so it wasn't even that bad reading. And it kind of caught you up in the story, and even told me a little bit more. I'm glad I read it, because even though I've played Peace Walker, I wanted to, check to see what they were saying was important, and it gave me a little more info than at the end of Peace Walker, which is nice to know that. And so the new one was interesting. I thought it was a really good plot line, but it was leading up to something, and then it was just too short. That was the main downfall. You get a lot of content in Metal Gear Solid games, in really all the Metal Gear games. You expect long cutscenes with lots of action, long levels and stuff, and it was literally just rescuing 2 people, Chico and Paz. I mean, that's literally all. You go in there, sneak to Chico, rescue him in the first 5 minutes, spend the rest of the time trying to rescue Paz, which I made the lucky mistake of not going right to her, because I kind of passed her and didn't really realize it, because the guard caught me right as I was coming in. So I was running, and I took pretty much out every single guard in the whole entire place, and then rescued her. Unfortunately, right when I rescued her, the shifts changed, so more guards came in, but a lot of guards still stayed vacant. All the cameras I shot down were vacant, so it made escaping really, really easy. A lot easier. I'm glad I did the recon stuff, which was cool, but other than that, it was it wasn't that interesting of a base, and it made a note of showing, oh yeah, you capture a guard and interrogate them, and it's oh, I'll show you the place where the anti-aircraft guns are, and points them out to you, that's going to be important. And then you never actually do anything with that information. You can find them, sure, I found the anti-tank guns, but didn't really let you do anything. And then the only real problem is right when you come out, the most obvious way you could come out, there's a huge freaking tank just sitting there. And there's tanks roving around. I was dumb, right as I was rescuing her, I came up and saw the loading zone, and there was just a crew of 4 people scouting that way. And I was oh, this will be easy, I'll take them out. And I started shooting them, and right as my silencer broke, and then I was like, oh crap. So I started shooting them with loud bullets and set off a huge alarm and had to like wait for like 5 minutes until the alarm went down until I could actually call on my chopper. So that was annoying, but I mean, it was a good game. I did like the gameplay, the controls, everything was nice and smooth, and the guns I thought were a lot better. I was disappointed I didn't get a sniper rifle at all during that. But I mean, it was a short 2 missions, because I mean, honestly, a silent sniper rifle would have saved my life a lot of the times, because it's always those people I was like, oh, I can get that person. Crap, I have to get close to them to get them. But whatever. So yeah, that was number 5. Number 4 is number 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, the one with Raiden. Not that I didn't like that. In fact, this and 4 and 3 all were about on the same playing field. 2, 3, and 4 were pretty much all about the same on the same playing field. I thought 2 and 3 had a little bit better story than 4. I liked 4, but 4 was also a lot nicer gameplay. I liked how they played better than 2 and 3, and it was also interesting. But 2, not because of Raiden. I loved Raiden. I loved that ninja stuff. It's really just I liked Big Boss better, and I liked the gameplay in 4 better. And Raiden, I had mixed feelings. Because there's that at the end, the game kind of tries to mess with you and tells you suddenly you have a game over and all this sort of stuff. Spoiler alert, even though you don't, and you're still fighting, and it's trippy. And I kind of felt like I finished the final boss, and I was like, that's it. That was it. No one else, nothing else. And I'm still ready to fight. And it left us with a cliffhanger kind of on Rose and Jack, which seemed like it was going to be a love story type thing, and kind of just was like, oh yeah, no, you don't really know me. And then, but do you? I don't know, because it was messing with you then. It's like, there's a point when it's the computer AI is like mimicking her, but right before that or something, she's actually speaking to you, saying, "Oh no, I was a spy," all this sort of stuff. But I still can't figure out if that was actually her saying that or the computer AI saying that, because those are they happened right about the same time, which was annoying. So yeah, it was kind of just cliffhanger, and then they meet each other at the end, and you're like, something's gonna happen, and it just faded to black, and I was like, oh, okay. So, I was not at all concerned with that. It was an amazing story. People say they hate Raiden. I loved Raiden. I liked the ninja. I liked his cartwheels. It made dodging so much easier. Oh my god, I loved that. And it was more constricted. So, it wasn't like 4 or 3 where there was a huge map. I mean, it was a huge place, but it wasn't... I mean, you couldn't get to certain parts for most of the game, and when you could, it wasn't much, really. It was kind of bland. I really don't remember much of the scenery, which is something about Metal Gear Solid I love, is scenery, usually. So, yeah. So next one is 4, then. Really, because I like Big Boss in 3, Naked Snake, and just that whole storyline was amazing. So 4, because although it was a good storyline, I liked it, and it was good length. I just couldn't get into the first level. The first level was not a great place to open. It kind of just left you out like, okay, what the heck am I actually doing? Like, what is my objective? I'm kind of stuck in the middle of a Middle Eastern city, and kind of just walking from building to building, like, am I even on the right path? It seems like the right path. People are shooting, and you don't know if you're supposed to be pointing everyone, because there seems to be people on your side, but for some reason they start shooting you too, and it's just weird. So there's times when you're like, oh, I feel like I should be a badass and be able to kill this monster thing, which I feel like I've killed tons of times before, and then I can't, and I'm like, what? Really? Why can't I? So, yeah, that was nice. But I did like a lot of the concepts. I liked how you could customize your weapons with that. There's a sniper rifle I found, or I got in the second level, and I accidentally bought like 500. No, I didn't buy 500. I bought like 20 silencers. Didn't even realize it. So for the whole game, I had a silencer on it, which was amazingly awesome because there's this one part. Oh, actually, there's many parts where that comes in handy, but there's one part that I especially hated. One of the levels was in London. You're like following a guy. You have to go through all these parts and like follow him, and you have to shoot down these guards that are standing there because he's like a rebel and he's trying to get to a certain spot. So you're like tracking him to that spot, but you gotta shoot down the guards in his way without him knowing that you're there because he'll shoot on you if he figures out you're there. Although sometimes he's really stupid, look around the corner like, oh god, guards. And then you shoot the two guards and say, oh god, they're down. That's weird. And just walk around and like, huh? What the... I don't know, he just seems like drunk or something. Like, those guards were up a minute ago. Huh. Oh, well, maybe I'm tripping or something. Just walks off. I'm like, okay, believe it. So that was interesting. And then he mimics a guard, and you have to follow and try to figure out the right guard, and he goes through, and it was just an annoying level, to be honest. I don't like... It's kind of like an escort mission, except the escort will attack you if you know you're escorting them. So it was kind of dumb. I didn't like it all that much. But the silence sniper was nice. So that's really my complaint with 4. The finale was amazing. The game was amazing. The gameplay, the mechanics were awesome. I liked how the change between 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and Peace Walker had, because in 2 and 3 you have that, top looking down map point of view. You can switch into first person point of view, but in this one it was pretty much just straight up third person point of view, which was much needed, I think, which was a great addition to the game in 4. So, yeah, 4. So number 2 is going to be 3, Metal Gear Solid 3, and that's the one with Naked Snake and Eva and Ocelot, and that was the 3rd game I played. I played Peace Walker, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4 and 5. So I just played them a little bit out of order. But 3 I really liked. Like, it was different than... Actually, no, I didn't play 2 first. I played 3 and then 2. So I played 3, and it was much different than Peace Walker. It was a completely different type of game, because in Peace Walker you kind of just blow up stuff, get into battles, which were awesome. But 2 or 3, it was a lot of sneaking around and crouching and all this sort of stuff, and I was not used to that as much, and so it tripped me up for a while trying to get used to that, but finally did. And I loved the story, I loved the finale, I loved the Big Boss is one of my favorite heroes / just one of my favorite characters of all time. Like, if I had to rank characters, he'd probably be number 1. Because, I mean, although in 1 and 2, and 4 really, he's kind of perceived as a bad guy, he's really not. I mean, you look at 3 and Peace Walker, and you see, and in 4 they even explain it, they say, he's just, me, Liquid's like, yeah, me and Father, we were just trying to, and even Solidus, we're just trying to get free of the system, and something you can totally relate to. You can totally see that with the, in 4, you can see the NPCs were being controlled by the Patriots, and just complete control through the nanomachines, and you're like, well, yeah, I wouldn't want to be controlled by that either. That's just, it's like they were pretty much becoming slaves, and it was like, yeah, I could see why he'd want to, and you can totally see Big Boss's point. Naked, I just call him Snake, really. Snake's point. Because that's the first Snake I knew, and you could see why he was fighting. You could see his motives, you could see his conviction, and you could see how much of a badass he was. He nailed a bunch of hot chicks on the way to, it was just awesome. So 3 definitely is number 2 on my list. So number 1, I bet you can guess it because of how much I've talked about it, how much I've said I loved it. It is Peace Walker. I think it might be only available for the PSP, which means if you don't have a PSP, you are missing out, because Peace Walker is honestly one of the best games I've ever played, and is definitely my favorite Metal Gear Solid game. Metal Gear Solid is also one of my favorite series. Even the plot is complicated, but that's why I love it. I love plots that are interesting, and I love characters that are interesting, and I love gameplay that is good. And this was just everything. I mean, you had sneaking missions, you had attack missions, you had random missions where you go on a date with either Paz, either while she's in a school outfit or in a bikini, which was awesome, or with Kaz, which is a guy who's like your partner. You go on a date with him. That was interesting. Really weird, but it was interesting. Or you could do missions where you take photos of sleeping guards to blackmail them or something, and take photos of ghosts, and that was scary as crap sometimes, because you don't know what the ghosts are going to do when they get you, just defending places, defending checkpoints, rescuing people. They had the Folcon recovery system, which was amazing, which is allowed you to like capture enemy soldiers and kind of get them to work for you, because you get to build mother base and upgrade certain areas. Either what was it? It was the fighting part, the fighting, like the fighting level, the R&D level, the medic level, the eating level, like the cook's level, and the intel level, which was awesome. You could upgrade them all by assigning people that had those, like it ranked each of them from A to E, E being the worst, A being amazing. Actually, S was even there, so S being super amazing. Maybe even A. No, I just said that. Yeah, S. You can put them in different depending on which ones they were good at. Like if they had an S in the R&D, you put them in R&D, and mix them around, let people go, and you could recruit people by going to this extra thing and beating like 5 people up at a time, and they would join you then if you could. With no weapons, anything. It was just awesome, awesome, and you could like capture opponents using the Folcon recovery system, or prisoners, and get them out of the jail, pretty much get them out of the brig, or all sorts of stuff, and just upgrade. And it was amazing. Like, I've probably spent a couple minutes. I know this is all really long. I'm already hitting the 17 mark for a top 5, but there's just so much to say for the Metal Gear Solid series. It's an amazing series, and Peace Walker is the best points of all of it. At the start, it was hard to get it was a little hard to get used to the controls, and it was a little bit of sneaking around, which I'm not as good at that. I'm the type of guy to just go up and shoot people, but out of every game I played, I think Peace Walker made it the easiest to sneak around and to fight, which was awesome. And I hadn't really known a lot of the story, because Peace Walker is the first one I played, right? And this is really the 5th installment, kind of. It would go in time, it would go, in the times they made it, the ones made first, it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, Peace Walker 5, but in order, like time continuum order, it would be 3, Peace Walker 5, 1, 2, 4, and so that's a little screwy. But so I kind of jumped in the middle of the story, and it didn't really include stuff in the later of the story, but it was you would have thought you were supposed to have a little bit of already have some knowledge on it, which I didn't, but that was not a problem with this game. It gave you enough backstories in the cutscene to let you know what was going on. And I didn't know who the boss was, but from the first cutscene, or I can't remember that, maybe she was meant, but throughout the game, I could tell she was important to Snake. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know her story. I didn't know much about her. I mean, going into it, only what it provided me, and I loved the bosses almost as much as I loved Big Boss, and it was seriously one of my favorite games. Just, if you have not played it, get a PSP, play Peace Walker. You will not be disappointed. And the one thing they did differently than every other Metal Gear Solid game, which I really loved, was a mission-based thing. The missions were shorter than every other mission, but there were so many of them. Instead of having like one continuous thing where you run around and get stuff, you were literally just objective wise, we'll get to this point, and you'd go to that point, and then the next mission would happen, either continuing from that point or coming back to base and doing stuff. And you come back to base every single time. You can do side missions, not to follow the main quest, do all this sort of stuff and look for stuff, and it's just so amazing. I loved it. I'm going to cap out here. We're hitting the 20-minute mark. It's pretty long. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Look for Block Soldiers Episode 5. God damn, we're getting high up there. Maybe not that high, but 4, show your support for 1 through 4. I just watched the playlist the other day, and I was laughing my ass off at midnight. Just when I'm recording this, actually, so 24 hours ago, I was laughing my ass off and probably waking up everyone in the house. But, you know, tough luck. So check those out again. 5 will be coming soon. We just finished filming it 2 days ago, probably 3 when I upload this. And yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, and check out Block Soldiers 5 when it comes out. We gotta get a flash drive. Jack's gonna transfer, Austin's gonna transfer some stuff over to Jack, and he's gonna edit it, put it up, and it's gonna be amazing. It's hilarious. I don't want to reveal too much, but you finally have a scene with all 3 of us together. We might be adding a little bit more, because we kind of, it might be a little bit shorter than everything other one. I'm not 100% sure, but it was funny. You put all 3 of us in a room in our personas, and it just is crazy. Exactly the type of situation that should be. So, yeah. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.